Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Gus Tucker, and we're here at Financial Freedom Fridays, and it's Labor Day weekend. So I know you guys. I'm the last thing maybe standing between you and Labor Day weekend. So we're gonna jump right into this and get on down the road. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. This month is Life Insurance Awareness Month. I know y'all was all thinking about that. I know it was top of mind. Life Insurance Awareness Month. I just couldn't wait for it to be September again, so it could be Life Insurance Awareness Month. Okay, but hey, it's important stuff, so we're going to get into it. Okay, Life Insurance Awareness Month, and why we're doing this, as we talked about it, man, we want to see as many of you as possible apply the tools we're talking about, so that you get financial independence and you sustain it for multiple generations. Here's the thing. If nothing changes, nothing changes. What do you mean? Well, if we don't change what we're doing, we're going to get the same results. You understand what I'm saying? So we've got to change what we're doing financially to get different results. I was listening to a woman. If you get a chance, check out TEDx on YouTube. And there's a woman named Renee Baker. Renee Baker, and she's talking about the wealth gap between Black people and primarily between Black folks and white folks. Okay, and how we need to change some things, and we can, to really close the wealth gap. And some of those things we're going to talk about is today, because our goal is for everybody to have financial independence. It's possible. It's possible. And Gus, it's too late for me. Gus, I'm X year old. I can't do it. It doesn't matter. You plan on being alive in the future? If you do, let's make it different than it is today by doing something different, by making decisions, okay? And maybe you're not going to save your way to financial independence, but you can earn your way to financial independence, okay? By starting a business, by doing some different things, you can earn your way to financial independence, which is having enough personal wealth to live without having to work for necessities. In other words, when you get up in the morning, you don't have to go to work for money because you've got sufficient assets already working for you. Okay. Now, we talked about literacy as competence or knowledge in a specified area. So financial literacy is learning how to earn or make money, spend money, save money, manage money, and invest money. All those are things that we can learn. Financial literacy is learned. Nobody is born financial literate. Even if somebody's born wealthy, they're not financially literate. They have to learn it for themselves. Otherwise, they'll end up losing their money. So financial literacy can be learned. So what do I suggest you do? Get this book as a start. Get this book as a start. And if you email me, which several of you did last week, it was good talking to you. I've gotten messages back out to you. I look to keep the conversation going, keep the conversation going, keep the conversation going. And so I got a book list, about 10 books that, man, you should read. Pretty easy reading, but they'll make a huge difference in your life. Okay, get this book, How Money Works. Stop Being a Sucker. Okay, it's a great foundational book for financial literacy. Also, go to my website. Take the money challenge. Send me your score. Get a free ebook. I've also got some checklists, and you can get a free financial needs analysis. Why would you want to do that? Because we can change your life. I just got off a call with a person who's becoming a friend of mine out in New York. Really sharp guy. He's got a 15-year-old son. With what he's doing is setting up for his 15-year-old son. When his son heads into retirement, he's going to have $2 million tax-free. The son doesn't even know about what his dad's doing for him. He's going to have $2 million tax-free. He's going to be able to withdraw $150,000 tax-free out of this tool we're setting up for him. 150 grand tax-free. I don't think you heard me. And that's on the conservative side. That's if he averages about 6% a year in what we're putting them in. How'd you like that to be your dad who's thinking about you like that when you're 15? That's what this is about, guys. Changing generations, changing generations, changing generations starting today. So, question: creating wealth for generations. Will your wealth last as long as you do? You got to answer that question. You got to answer that question. Well, you don't have to, but it's going to get answered for you anyway. Life just keeps coming. The reason we're a little late today is the person that's producing this show, they're in Dallas. They were in a car accident. Was that planned? No. Do we have to be prepared for it? Yes. Why? Life happens. On an ordinary day, my pastor said. On an ordinary day. Now, our philosophy, my philosophy is, if you're going to build a solid financial foundation, the foundation is built on protection. The roof is investments. Everybody wants to learn how to invest. They got all these websites out here, learn how to invest in the stock market, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you need to do that. For sure. For sure. I believe in investments so much so, and you're going to hear more about this later. I'm a part of a team that's launching 2 Black-owned stock exchanges next year. 2 Black-owned stock exchanges. Why? So we can get more capital to small businesses so they can grow and we can help close the wealth gap. So do I believe in investments? For sure. But when? There's 2 things that can screw up your financial plan. Real bad. Like, real bad. What do you think they are? The 2 things that can screw up. Now, I've asked this question in the past. I want to see if y'all been listening. There's 2 things that can screw up your financial plan right now, real fast. What are they? Can I hear from somebody? As the preacher used to say, is anybody out there or is it just lights and walls? Let me hear. What do you think the 2 things are that can screw up your financial plan right away? What do you think they are? Because all these things you want to see happen, you want to take care of your family, you want to have money, you want to have a nice house, man, you want to send kids to college, you want to be successful financially, take nice vacations. You know, what are the 2 things that can screw up your plan right away? And they're out of your control. You know what they are? One is dying. Sorry to break it to you, but life is a terminal disease. It's got an expiration date on it. All of our lives have an expiration date on it. Nobody gets out of this alive. Number 2 is almost dying, where you don't die, but something happens to you and you can't work. So now you're still alive and you need money to live, but you can't work, so the bills are piling up. That's almost being alive and dead at the same time. So, because of those 2 things, protection is the foundation of your house. Protection, life insurance, is the foundation of your financial house. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about 10 reasons why that is. Okay? Now, this is a video, but for some reason it's not playing, but it goes with this article right here. It's, if you go to Yahoo Money, if you look up this woman, Rhonda Lee, I don't know if you can see that, Ronda Lee, Yahoo Money, and you put this title in, like racial wealth gap in life insurance, you'll see the video. But Black Americans are more likely to carry life insurance than the average American. So Black folks will get some insurance, more so than the average American. But it usually only covers just funeral costs. 56% of Black Americans have life insurance, according to a study by LIMRA, and Life Happens, compared with 52% of all Americans. Wow, that's great. But 46% of these people, almost all of them, remain underinsured, with their benefits not enough to replace income, offer cash value options during life, or provide wealth transfer across generations. More coverage could help close the racial wealth gap, some experts said, but many Black Americans are missing out because of financial concerns, a misunderstanding of how life insurance works, and mistrust of the industry at large. Yeah, the life insurance industry in the past would charge Black folks more than they would white folks for the same insurance. You could argue that still happens, but not with persons like myself and other persons across the country fighting on Black folks' behalf. What I hear is my parents didn't help me, so I'm just going to bury myself, leaving every generation starting over. Unlike other communities where they're giving legacy to the next generation. A financial services professional with over 30 years of experience representing many insurers told Yahoo Money, instead, we have a financial loss and an emotional loss, creating a recipe for disaster. I know there's all kind of age groups listening to this, but y'all ever hear of a movie called Back to the Future? The first one, Back to the Future. When in the future, this guy named Biff found out about things that were going to happen, and he began betting on sporting events and doing other things on things he knew were a certainty. They were going to happen no matter what. You know what life insurance is? It's a bet on something that's going to happen no matter what. What is that? The person's going to pass away. So I just want you to think of this for a second. If you had an investment and you knew it was going to pay off sometime in the future, 100% guaranteed it was going to pay off in the future, and it would pay off 10 to 20 times what you put into it, would you do that? Answer is probably yes, right? Yes. Let's say you were an investment manager and you had people on your team and you had given them resources to invest, and you came back and they had just put the investment in the ground when they could have bought an investment like what we're talking about, life insurance as an investment, from the sense of, you know, the money that you put out is going to pay off sometime in the future. How happy would you be if somebody put that in the ground? There's a book I read where somebody did that. One had one talent, one had 5, one had 10, and the one with 1 put it in the ground. The master wasn't happy. What if he'd bought life insurance policies on somebody with a 5 or 10 talents? That's a 10, 20 time fold return. How happy would he have been with that? I'm just saying. Okay? 10 reasons why you ought to buy life insurance. 1, I'm just throwing this in there. GoFundMe is not a wealth building strategy. It's not a taking care of your family strategy. It's not. I was supposed to be on a conference call with our executive team for that stock exchange this morning, and it was canceled. Why? One of our executives had a family member that passed away. My condolences go out to that family. Because on an ordinary day, that's when it happens, man. On an ordinary day. So my thought went to the grief of that family. They got to deal with this loss of a loved one. My mother used to have a saying, don't cry twice. Don't cry because you're going to cry once because you lost the person. The second cry when you find out they didn't have any insurance, and now you're not only trying to get money for the funeral, but what about the rest of life? So GoFundMe is not a wealth building strategy. It's not a strategy at all. I'm glad we have it available for those people who didn't plan, but don't you use it, okay? So 10 reasons why to buy life insurance. Number 1, ease the financial stress for your loved ones, your beneficiaries. That's why it says beneficiaries. Beneficial is the root. Beneficial. They're going to benefit. It's beneficial. The life insurance is beneficial. That's why they're beneficiaries. They're not debtonaries or hurtinaries or worse offaries. They're beneficiaries. Ease the financial stress for those people you leave behind. Does that make sense? So they're not worried not only about putting you in the ground, but where they're going to live tomorrow, which is the next one, to pay ongoing bills. To pay ongoing bills. Now, life insurance can pay ongoing bills. You pass away, they get a life insurance that pays ongoing bills. But here's another way. Nowadays, life insurance, like everything else, as technology improves, things get better. Life insurance has gotten better. With a term life insurance policy, that's the cheapest insurance you can buy. It can have something called living benefits. What does that mean? We've talked about it a little bit in the past. Maybe some of you guys didn't catch this. Living benefits is something happens to you where you don't die. Just like my colleague here at the show was in a car wreck. Thank God she was able to drive home. But what if she'd have been laid up and couldn't work? This term life insurance policy, she could draw down on the money to provide income for her while she was laid up in a life insurance policy. How cool is that? It's not cool you got in an accident, but it's cool you got resources that you can leverage to make your life better. Make sense? Living benefits, learn about them. Next is save the family income. If you work in a family, husband and wife, and you're depending on that income, and something happens to one of you, what happens to the income? It goes away. Well, could you live on that income? I was chatting with a young lady in Texas. We're putting together a program for her and her husband. Why? Because she's retired and has a pension. And when she passes away, the pension stops. So the husband wouldn't be able to carry on his lifestyle. So he put together a life insurance policy that will last for her entire life. Should something happen to her, that'll kick in and boom, it'll replace her income. Does that make sense? Number 4, pay for your child's education. How many have children? How much is college these days? For 4 years. Tuition, room and board, and then the money they need to live on. How much is that? Is it all going to be covered by grants and scholarships? Because we're not taking out no loans, right? We're not going to go into debt to go to college, are we? Because there's no guarantee there's a job afterwards, is there? So I know we're not going into debt for college. We're just getting grants and scholarships. Hello? But if something happened to you, what if the life insurance policy would pay for their education where they were planning to go, and nothing would be upset? Would that be a good thing or a great thing? Be great. Next, protect your business. You know, half of the people in America, almost 50%, work for a small business. What's a small business? Under 500 employees. Half of America does that. And there's 30 million people that own a small business. If you run a small business, and by definition, if it's small, that means some of the progress on this business is based on you. Do you have an insurance policy in place? If something were to happen to you, it could pump money not only into your family, but into the business as well. Sometimes they're called key man policies or executive bonuses. Okay, to protect your business for those of you a business owner. Next, to secure your retirement. If you and your wife are planning to retire together, I'm assuming both of you guys are contributing to the money to retire. If something happens to one of you, that contribution stops, doesn't it? Well, how are you going to fulfill that contribution? Life insurance. Life insurance, so your spouse can retire. And to provide a source of cash during your lifetime. I was talking to this dad and showing him the schedule, how if he paid this certain amount into the policy, and when he passes away, his trust will pay the money into the policy. How about that? You like apples? How you like them apples? So if and when he passes away, his trust will pay for the insurance policy. Aha! And when this child is ready to retire, there's going to be a couple $1,000,000 sitting up there for him. And all along the way, while it's building up to that couple $1,000,000, if money is needed, it can be withdrawn tax free out of that life insurance policy. There are tax laws on the books right now that have been there since the 1930s that allow that to happen. Tax free withdrawals from the life insurance policy. They take them out as loans, right? They take them out as policy loans. Loans aren't taxed. Obviously, to cover end of life expenses, right? Funerals nowadays, they say they average around $9,000. I mean, you can get cremated for not much money, but it isn't about the final expenses, is it? It's about the ongoing life for your family, your beneficiaries after you're gone. So leave an inheritance. We need to start thinking about that. A good man leaves inheritance to his children's children. How much do you want to leave to your children? Think about it this way too. Not just leaving them income from a life insurance policy, but how about income from a business or real estate that you own, where you're leaving them money? You're leaving an inheritance, a cash flow and lump sums. How about both? How about leaving them cash flow and a lump sum? It's my goal. And ultimately, what it'll do is number 10, give your family more control over their financial future. Does that make sense? So those are 10 reasons to buy life insurance. Okay, now, why don't people get it? 56% of Black folks got it, 44 don't have it, and the 56% that do have it, almost 90% of them don't have enough. Why? Fear and miss. If I get life insurance, then I'll die. Look, you're going to die anyway. Life insurance isn't going to speed it up. Who determines when you die? I believe God does. Not the universe, but God does. And that day's already been chosen. Doesn't it make sense to be a good steward of your money and get a 10, 20, or 30-fold return on your insurance on something you know is going to happen? If you invest in the stock market and stuff like that, you don't know exactly what's going to happen. Over time, you hope and pray it's going to go up. And as long as our country stays a free country and we stay productive and our companies stay productive in the United States, it should go up. But you don't get out of this alive. Okay, and life insurance isn't going to kill you. Okay, it's too expensive. One, that's why you should get it as soon as possible and get as much as possible, so you lock in the price at a lower amount. Get as much as possible as soon as possible. This dad's going to get $250,000 on his 15-year-old son. There are adults that don't have that. Why would he get so much on the kid? The more insurance you buy, the more money you can stuff in the policy. Okay? It's better to put money in savings, really. The fixed account inside this life insurance policy guarantees 2.5%. What's your bank paying? Go to bankrate.com right now. Get a phone out. Go to bankrate.com. I'm going to do it right now while I'm talking. Bankrate.com. I should put my money in a savings account. You know? So, yeah. So, check this out. Go to bankrate.com. Just real quick. Bankrate.com. Okay, we'll get it to come up on my phone and we'll check and see what the rates are. Put it in a savings account. Okay, I put it in a savings account. Now Lending Tree comes up. They want me to get credit cards, personal loans, home equity, home refinance, savings accounts. Let's see what they're doing. Savings accounts. Let's see what it's got to do. about savings accounts. So we're gonna look at my area. Okay, if you put away $5,000 into a savings account, you can get 2.1%. Well, it's 5%, 2.5% if you do what I'm talking about. But a regular savings account, not a CD where you're gonna put 5 grand in, or you're gonna put some money in every day. They're paying less than 1%. This insurance policy is paying 2.5%. I'm single. I don't need life insurance. Okay, you plan on getting married one day? Why not go into marriage with that already taken care of, and you got it at the lowest rate possible? How about think ahead? People always saying, well, I need to find the right person to marry. I need to find the right person to marry. Why not be the right person to marry? And a person who's thinking ahead, planning for their financial future, are they a more desirable partner, or one with low credit score and a bunch of debt and no job? I'm just saying. You'd be a lot more attractive with a high credit score, good income, and all your financial ducks in a row. Hello, including you already have life insurance. I'm single, but it can still have living benefits because you don't know what might happen to you, single person. I've been in this industry for over 20 years. I've had, I don't know, 5 or 6 death claims. 4 of them have been people 40 years and younger. I'm just saying. Look, if you buy life insurance and you buy permanent life insurance that has long-term care and living benefits on it, now you need to qualify for it. That's why the earlier you get it, the better. Okay. You get a death benefit that's typically tax-free. We talked about living benefits that you get while you're alive. You can draw down the death benefit to help you while you're alive. And it's not a terminal situation. Also, you have long-term care. 40% of the people in nursing homes are under 50. Why? Accidents. Accidents. So when you get long-term care? So when you're 18 and you can qualify for it. Concierge service. One of the companies that I work with has a concierge service that when you buy a life insurance policy, when you have your funeral, it's one call and the funeral is taken care of. And you have to deal with all those arrangements yourself. How cool would that be to make one phone call, have all that taken care of? Tax treatments of the gains inside the policy. Because of the tax law, the money grows without being taxed. Also, universities don't count that against your expected family contribution, what you got to give to the university. Cash build up in the policy. Some strategies are uncapped. I showed this person that we're doing this plan for his son. We showed it only at like a 5.7% return. But they have some investment strategies that have averaged 12, 13, 14, 15% over the last 15 years. Ooh. Inside a life insurance policy? Mm-hmm. Going without being taxed. Take it out, tax advantage. And you can't lose your principal. Whoa. It's got market correction protection in it where you can't lose your principal. I'm just saying. And you can borrow that money out while you're alive. I don't recommend you do that a lot. And we have other accounts set up for that. But it's no cost to yourself. Okay. So look, I'm just going to skip to this. It's Life Insurance Awareness Month. We're going to cover a couple of these concepts again next week. Okay. We're going to talk about the $1 million baby concept and how permanent insurance works and how to create multi-generational wealth for your family. Come on, guys. Reach out. My number's up there. 312-569-0757. It's my Google Voice. Leave me a message. I'll get back to you. You have my email address, financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. Financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. Give me a shout out. Share this content with other people. You guys have a safe Labor Day weekend. Okay. My time is up, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay. God bless. Gus Tucker out.